just tough one for us. I mean, we came into this game really confident, thinking it's one that we could get, and we put ourselves in a position to win. I mean, Kentucky's a very good team. They're a top 15 team in the country, so for our kids to come out and play the way that they did, we're really excited about that. I think that for sure our first years know that they can come out and compete against anyone in the country and support our fourth years in a way that we can be competitive and successful. I mean, a tough loss for us, but overall, I think that we played a solid game.
Coach, coming out of the timeout with 20 seconds to go, what was the play call? Kind of what were you going for on that last play call when Robiney took the shot?
Well, we actually didn't execute it, so I'd rather not tell you exactly what it was because we'll then use it at a later date. But it wasn't for sure to take the shot that we got. But, it happens in those moments. It's kind of really intense, and then, things can go awry. They did a really good job of kind of jumping into a different defense to kind of shut down what we were trying to do. But for sure, when we execute in the future, I'll let you know that was the one, John.
And Jocelyn, you got a pretty good look there at the end. Kind of take us through that last play. You ended up getting a pretty good look, but it just didn't fall.
Yeah, I think as the coach said, they switched up the defense, went zoned, which made it a little bit hard to figure out where we're screening. But Nick gave a great pass and just rushing the shot, honestly, to get it off. But it was a shot we wanted, and we executed, so that's something to be proud of.
I mean, the reality is that, there's so many different things that could have happened in that game that would have put us up or put us in a position to win. It doesn't come down to that last shot. We did get a good look, but we're not going to rest the entire game on the one shot by Joss.
Yeah, Dominique, just looking at, it was an ugly game. It was a lot of fouls, a lot of turnovers, but what kind of lessons or moral victories can you take from this going forward against a team that was ranked top 15 in the country for a reason?
Yeah, I think it just shows everybody that we could play with anybody. We came into this game, people were doubting us on how we're going to keep up with Kentucky, but we obviously stayed with them, and we had solid defense all the way through. So I think the number one thing we're going to take away from this is our effort and just making sure we're consistent and cleaning everything up on the offensive side.
Confidence. I hope that we take a lot of confidence away from this game. Like, of course, no one in the country, with the exception of us, thought that we were going to come in and be as competitive and put ourselves in a position to win. I told our kids before this game that this is the game that we will win and that we should win based on how we've practiced and how we've been playing up until this point. So I'm not surprised, by where we were in this game. I'm really excited that we played to the potential that we did, and that plays here and there, a couple turnovers, free throws, or missed shots. There's a different outcome in this game. So we're for sure not going to hang our heads, and we're going to use some of the examples that we'll look at on film from this game to take them into our next game.
Coach, your thoughts on the defensive effort? You guys forced 20-plus turnovers. You held them without a bucket for 8-plus minutes in the second quarter. You guys gave yourself a chance with your defense tonight.
Defense is what we do. It's something that we talk about, that that it is a part of the identity of who we are, and that it's going to keep us in games. One thing we can always control is how we defend. You can't necessarily control how teams are going to defend you and whether shots are going to fall or they're going to go in, but we can always control and make happen what we want to happen on the defensive end.
Jocelyn, just as one of the leaders on this team, what do you tell these freshmen? It's a really young team, but what do you tell them after a game like this where y'all were just on the brink of pulling off a big upset?
Yeah, I think don't get discouraged. I think it was a great game for us to have early on, for us to build on and learn from. I think, again, there were little things that we did early on from, there's several charges in the game. So telling them, when the refs are calling it that way, we have to be smart and adjust. There are little things like that we can learn from and just build our IQ and grow as a team to help us further down the road.
And Tuesday, you guys are heading to UConn. Kind of how are you guys approaching that game going into one of the toughest environments in college basketball?
Well, we haven't started preparation yet, because we just finished the game against Kentucky, but we're going to come in with the same confidence. We're going to come in and practice tomorrow and do some scout prep, and then we'll probably be better suited to answer that question.